So you're running out of closet space. The good news? You don't need to stop shopping. You just need to start selling with The RealReal. The RealReal is the world's largest and most trusted resource for authenticated luxury resale. Whether it's that mini bag that can't even fit your phone, or those boots you never fully broke in, The RealReal handles everything from photography and copywriting to shipping and pricing. So you can just sit back, get paid, and make room for things that actually feel like you. And with 10,000 plus new arrivals every single day from top designers like Prada, Celine, Louis Vuitton, and Loewe, all for up to 90% off retail, you're bound to find something perfectly on brand to fill that extra closet space with. Plus, right now, you can get an extra $100 to shop when you sell for the first time. Make room for what feels like you. Go to therealreal.com to start selling and get your extra $100 to keep shopping at therealreal.com. That's therealreal.com. Terms apply.
Welcome to Uncluttered and Unfiltered, the podcast urging you to let it go and don't look back, with nationally acclaimed professional organizer Christine Stone and self-proclaimed hot damn mess radio and TV personality Eden Kendall.
Welcome everybody to Uncluttered and Unfiltered. I'm Eden Kendall along with Christine Stone, and we have a really great topic today that is going to get you at least thinking about letting go of some things now that you are, if you are, over 50. Before we do a little bit of chit-chat, why don't you explain what is meant by that, Chris?
Well, once you get into your 50s, there are items that you really do need to look at in your house that it's time to think about letting go. And so today's episode, we're going to talk about all of those items and what to do with the items, what items as an organizer that I see all the time that I think it's time, ladies, to start letting it go.
Some of these things are things that I really thought I had to hold on to until the end of time. So I'm happy to review these with you. I might still need additional convincing, but that's what this is all about. But in the meantime, we had a great week. Christine and I had a chance to spend some time together on television here locally this week. I was filling in on one of the local lifestyle and entertainment shows here in Jacksonville, Florida, where we both live. And we did a segment on one of the days for the podcast and also for an upcoming appearance we have. And that was a lot of fun.
I loved it. I love being with you on TV. That's how we met. I love it. I love it.
It was a lot of fun. I kind of feel like we took it over the segment because we have that chemistry now. We always are together. I wanted to share with you that at the end of the week, because my day job is radio and it always has been, having filled in for it was 4 days, I took a look at the end of the week at screenshots and videos from my time on TV and decided that 3 of the 4 outfits I wore I did not like. So do you know what happened?
Tell me.
I didn't hang them back up.
I'm so excited.
And they were really nice dresses and shirts. And I thought, if I didn't like the way they looked, I won't be wearing them again. I put them in the bag. And if you're not familiar with the bag, go listen to episode 1. And that's it. Why hang it back up?
Well, and you being on TV a lot, that's the perfect thing to say, okay, that's not going back in the closet. And that's what I always tell women is if you put something on and you look in the mirror and you say, oh my God, I feel terrible in this. I don't like the way I look. Don't hang it back up. Put it in the bag, consign it, donate, or give it to a friend or a relative and let it go.
It's the hanging it back up that tricks your mind into thinking it's potentially something you'll wear again.
Right.
So as soon as you take it off at the end of the day, or if you put it on and then don't end up wearing it because you looked yourself over in the mirror and thought, nah.
Well, and it's taking up space for new things that you will love and feel good about when you wear them.
Something completely off subject, since we're talking about broadcasting. I mentioned that I'm on the radio every day. Today, we interviewed a guest that made sense for the country music radio show on which I appear every day, but would never make sense for this particular podcast. Have you heard of power slapping?
I have never heard of that.
This is a UFC sanctioned, Ultimate Fighting sanctioned event where grown men stand with their hands behind their back and take turns slapping each other in the face until
I'm dumbfounded over
I know
here.
you are. I know you are. Well, here locally, we have the current champion of this sport. And he goes to Las Vegas and he participates in this. And he stands there and takes it. Well, a man who weighs 200 plus pounds, open hand slaps him in the face.
Oh my God.
And then he returns the favor, many times knocking the other guy out cold.
Okay, what is the point of this, though? Is there a point to it?
Gladiator style, something to bet on, something for people to enjoy watching. And the reason
I feel old right now, just so you know.
You feel old. The reason I even bring this up is because the number one question I had for him from the time I knew we were going to talk to him until the time he was on the phone, I knew exactly what I wanted to say to this young man. What does your mother think about this vocation? Because make no mistake, this is his full-time job. He said she can't watch.
I just don't. This is the old lady boomer in me coming out. I find nothing redeemable about this job. I find nothing that I would watch this like this. So, I mean, you know, everybody should do their own thing, but I just don't know if I want to be slapped in the face a million times.
And do you know, and this is you as a mom of two daughters. Now, I have a son who will tell you that these guys have done this before hanging out. Like, hey, guys, let's have a slap fight. But as a mom of daughters, I'm sure you.
Well, everybody makes fun of me because I'm like, that will cause CTE. Everything I see, that's going to cause CTE.
What is CTE?
That's when they find out, like from football players, the concussions have really done something. It changed their brain chemistry. And I always see all these sports and say, that's going to cause CTE.
Oh, yeah, no, to me.
So for sure, this one would.
To me, this is a last resort vocation. This is like, you know, you're going. This is
my
like
facial expression.
Like what the gladiators, the prisoners have to do. They could fight a lion, or they could do a slap fight. Anyway, I thought it would be enjoyable, not for you, but for me to look at your face, to look you in the face, and tell you about this.
You know, I always say nothing ever surprises me, and nothing ever surprises me.
No, that doesn't surprise you.
You know.
So anyway, that's the unfiltered reaction from Christine Stone for power slapping. Let's switch gears to uncluttered reactions, which is the things that you should consider. You're never one to tell me what
I'm not.
to do.
I'm not.
These are things you should consider letting go of once you are 50. All right, let's refresh.
Okay.
It's a whole new topic.
Well, I like that you said should consider, because in my job, you never, when people finally decide they want help, it's because they really want help. You never want to force anybody into doing anything when it comes to letting go of items. It's a personal thing for everybody. It's very emotional. Very emotional. And so when you're ready to let these items go, this is where this list comes in. Okay,
so I am at that point where I really would like to reduce the clutter. And I go in waves, and I'm at the crest of one of those waves right now. So what is your number one? Not necessarily
I don't know
number one. It's not in an order.
Yeah, okay. It's not in an order. But another thing real quick, a lot of people in their 50s and 60s and 70s have downsized. So this is why I bring this topic up, because you don't have the room you had. So the first thing on the list is old school photos. Those are paper photos. And the reason why I bring this up, because if you are in your 50s, 40s, 60s, this has become a real issue, because you're not going to just throw them out. So what do you do with them? And it's a very time-consuming project, I will say, but so well worth it when you get your older photos organized. And so the first thing you want to do is get containers that are weather tight. If you're going to do them in like a plastic container that is weather tight to keep out humidity and bugs, and never store your photos like in an attic. It has to have air conditioning or be climate controlled. If you want to put them on, say, a shelf in your office or in your living room, then that's a different type of container because you may pull it down and during the holidays be nostalgic and look at them. So you want to get your containers. I always say, if you don't have a big table, open a card table because it's going to be like shuffling cards. You're going to have different categories and you're going to decide what your categories are. So for instance, you want to take all the photos you have in your house and gather them in one spot. So if you have some in a drawer here, some in a drawer there, up in a cabinet, that's the first thing, because once you get them all in one spot, then you can start sorting them by events or by child.
Question for you. You mentioned bins. Now, photo albums, that would take forever and is not as conducive to what you're trying to accomplish. Am I right? I mean, are you know about the albums?
Well, unless you're going to take your photos and send them off
To have a book
and
made.
to have a book made, to do your own photo albums like we used to in the 70s and in the 80s and even in the 90s. I don't know if you want to spend the time doing that or, you know, you don't want to make this such a chore that you get halfway through it and say, forget it, I'm not doing this. That's the big thing about organizing photos. You want to be able to complete the project.
With my son, I used to go to creative memories parties, and you had that scrapbooking thing, and he has a beautiful first-year scrapbook. Not the girl child, because it was a really elaborate deal to like make these very fancy scrapbooks. And, you know, I'm not going to do that for his entire life and then go back and do it again for hers. But that's just me.
I never made one of those. I'm not a crafty kind of gal. So the most I did was just slide them in, you know, where you used to have the sheets and you just slide them in. So
That's what it came to.
yeah,
eventually.
that's what it usually does come to. So sorting them is a choice. Some people want to sort them by vacations, holidays, years, children. So that's just something you have to decide. You gather all the photos and you let go of the photos that are blurry, which back in the day, there were tons of those photos. Photos of people you don't remember or don't know. So there's tons of those photos. You may say, who the heck is that person? If you don't know them, it's time to let go of the
because
photo.
your memory doesn't get sharper as you
No.
get older. It's not like a year from now it's going to come to you.
Or what if it's someone in the photo that you were friends with 20 years ago, but you haven't seen them in 20 years and you're really not going to? And so why keep it? Doubles. We used to get a lot of doubles back in the day. So you don't need to keep two of the same photo.
That was always a selling point for every photo developer.
Right. Exactly.
Free set of
Right.
duplicates.
Which, think about that now. I mean, you know, who needs two photos of everything? So, and also, if another thing about remembering, maybe they're not worth remembering someone in the photo. I have a lot of clients that are divorced that are like, we're getting rid of everything that reminds me of that time in my life because it wasn't a happy time. And it's okay now to let those kind of things go. So photos are so important, especially when you're moving or when your kids are adults. I mean, you're going to want to give them their photos so that they can share them with their kids. And so having them organized, you're just giving someone a bin or a box. So it can be tedious, but setting up a card table with bins and just start sorting, make sure you label, because if you forget to label, you're not going to know what is in the bin.
Okay.
The next item are your kids' baby toys. I see this so much. And now that I have my own grandchild, for sure, I understand a lot more. So I will be organizing a client over 50 and they'll have like, you know, a little Susie doll from when they were little and the hair's all messed up and the clothes. And they'll say, she may want it for her child. And I'm like, really? I mean, I learned one thing having a grandchild. Everything I say, Mom, they don't do that anymore. It causes seizures. That material, they don't do that anymore. I can't tell you how many times I have heard this from my daughter.
Good luck passing your old toys down.
Old, musty, you know, been sitting in a bin for 20 years. I mean, there may be one thing like old-fashioned wood blocks because, I don't know. The paint may have lead in it. Who knows?
Who knows?
But I'm saying this generation that's having babies, for sure, they are very picky.
They do not want
They
that
don't
stuff.
want it. And they'll ask. My clients will ask their children and they'll be like, no, I'm not. No, Mom, can't do that. And they'll tell me, oh, you were right. He or she didn't want it. So I see the results all the time. So if you're holding on to all these old toys, ask them if they really would use them. And if not, get rid of them.
And that goes too, I would imagine, for cribs and things like that, because there's regulation on how far apart.
Especially,
Yeah.
cribs, you can't.
You just say, okay. Hello, my friends, it's Eden. And you know, at this stage of life, hydration is about more than just quenching thirst. It's about feeling balanced, energized, and clear. That is why I am excited to tell you about Greater Than, a coconut water-based hydration elixir made specifically for women. It's designed to support us through every stage, from hormone shifts to busy days and workouts. Each can gives you natural electrolytes, plant-based vitamins, gentle fiber, and the equivalent of 3 servings of fruits and vegetables, all with less sugar and more potassium. And here's the bonus. Greater Than was created by a female-led team and developed with a registered dietitian, so every ingredient has a real purpose. You know, I'm a huge fan of orange mango, but pineapple coconut, oh my goodness. It's crisp, clean, and makes staying hydrated feel like a treat and not a chore. So if you're ready to feel more energized, more radiant, and more you, quite frankly, go to drinkgt.com. That's drinkgt.com. It's hydration for her. Beautifully done and deliciously refreshing. Hi, it's Eden. You know, I'm on TV every day, so how I look on camera and how I feel in what I'm wearing really matters. And that is why I love Armoire. I can rent beautiful, high-quality pieces that fit my style. I can wear them on air. I can wear them out to dinner. If I'm going on a trip, it's so easy to pack. And then I swap everything for something new. Now, Christine, who is, of course, a professional organizer, loves this. Because clothing rental, like from Armoire, keeps your closet from overflowing with clothes that you're never going to wear. With a clothing rental membership, you can build a stylish and very personalized wardrobe without any of the hassle and expense. First, you take a quick 5-minute style quiz. You pick your favorites. Then your items arrive at your door in as little as 2 days. And we love that Armoire is women-founded and women-led, and they even spotlight women-owned designers. Right now, try Armoire and get up to 60% off your first month. That's up to $150 off. Just check out armoire.style/UU podcast. That's ARMOIRE.style/UU podcast. It's in our show notes. Try it today and never worry about what to wear again. Hey, you're the boss, you're the mom.
Absolutely. You're the boss. You're the mom. It's your child.
Tempting to say, but look at you here thriving. But you don't say that because it will get you nowhere.
I have said that once.
Probably.
Like, I did all this with you and you seem like great. So, okay. Now we're going to go to the adult children's memorabilia. They've been out of your house. They don't live there anymore. Some of them are even married. They have their own homes. And I see constantly parents keeping their child's soccer trophies, medals, running gear, soccer shoes, you name it. It's in boxes and they don't want them. The parents, the adult parents, do not want them in their home, but they keep asking and asking. So I think it's having a real conversation.
Fully built Lego sets.
Right. Fully built. I've seen a million of those. I can't tell you. So any kind of memorabilia from your kids and also that would include artwork, report cards, yearbooks. If they want this stuff, they should take it and put it where they live. And I'm not saying when they're in college, that's different. They always come home. But I'm saying if they have started their life with their home and you really do not have the place to store it and it's taking up room or using a spot that you could be using for yourself and enjoying, you should give them the option the next time they're in town, if they don't live in town, to really go through these items and start getting rid of them.
One of the things that used to drive me crazy, there was this whole phase, and everybody remembers this, when all of these shows about tiny houses would be on all of the home channels. And I would be furious because these young folks would be like, I love it. I feel like it's roomier than I even thought it would feel. And it's great. And I kept saying, show the parents' house, show the parents' attic, because you're not minimizing if every single thing you own is right now stored
at your parents'
in your poor parents' house.
Yes.
So I think you're right. If you are starting out on your own and you want to be an adult, then you have to also have all your crap.
Right. And I was telling you, now that I have a grandchild, I have to store all that stuff. So I have a high chair, I have a pack and play, I have a little bathtub. You know what I mean?
Brand new versions.
Of course. Brand new versions of all this stuff that I have to store. So when he comes, I'll have everything. So if you're trying to store everything, you're eventually going to run out of room. And that's what I see a lot. You can only store so much, especially if you have downsized.
Okay.
Okay, so the next thing is greeting cards. I am huge into keeping cards that my mother gave me, that my girls gave me, that my husband gave me. Not everyone's like that. Some people are like, read it and throw it in the garbage.
I think people would be surprised to hear that about you.
They are surprised to hear it about me. Now, I wouldn't keep every card that someone gave me, but if someone writes a note on it, like a personalized note, I do. I keep them, and there's different ways to keep them, but the newest way, and I haven't tried it yet, so I'll get back to you guys on this, is Archive. It's an app that you send your items to. I have sent artwork memorabilia to them, and they did an amazing job for my kids' artwork. And they
made books, right?
They made books, and you send everything in a box that they provide you, and then you just send it off, and then they send you the item that you've picked, how you want the items displayed. But the latest one is for greeting cards. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is great. So you just put all the greeting cards that you're saving in a box, and they make it into a book. So you don't have to keep the old school copy of them. And I actually am really excited to try this because, I mean, imagine, since my kids were, old enough to write, and anything my husband, even if it's from a flower. So you hear this, everybody? I do keep something.
Yes, she has a heart, people.
I do.
So when you do receive this, please let's photograph at least the outside of it and show everybody, or thumb through it.
Yes, I'm really excited about this because I think this. I see a lot of cards people keep, and they have a hard time letting them go. And this would be perfect. You just mail them off. They make a book, and you can keep it on a shelf and look at it when you want to look at it.
That's perfect.
Okay, so the last, not totally last, but one of the last things is items in your garage. I've talked about garages before, but garages become the storage unit of items that you don't want in your house, but you're not prepared to get rid of them, so they end up in the garage. And so many people can't park their cars in the garage because it's become a storage unit off the house. So when you're in your 50s and your 60s and your kids are grown up, you don't need their old, lacrosse sticks, their soccer equipment, their track items, all their track shoes. It's time to finally let go of all those items that you've been saving. I know it's hard. Believe me, I work with so many people that's a part of your life that's over. Even if they've only been in college for a year, it's a part of your life that you really were involved in. So to let those items go can be really difficult. But the garage should also be a place that you keep items that you use, not just items that you're storing. And so that would include old golf clubs, which my husband is the worst offender of that. And I actually found a place for him to consign his old golf clubs.
Tell us.
Well,
it's local.
It's local. So there are places you can consign old sports equipment.
Sure.
And so you don't feel like you're wasting it. And also old tools, old paint cans, broken items, gardening items that you never ever use, old bags of soil, broken items, items that are broken. I mean, people keep broken lawn chairs. I mean, there's so many things, old beach stuff that you haven't used in 20 years. So keeping the garage as part of an extension of your home is so important to keeping your whole entire home area organized.
How many times have you said, oh, I do have one of those. It's in my garage somewhere. You should be able to put your hands on whatever it is what I'm hearing you say.
Yes. Yes. And when you, like I said, when you're in your 50s, because this is for people 50 and over, you don't need these items anymore. You're holding on to it as an emotional thing, not because you really are going to go out and take your kid's soccer ball from when they were in 10th grade and go kick it around the yard. I mean, think about it. You're not going to do that.
It might be the exception. And if you are, you know who you are. You might have that be that family that on Thanksgiving you get out there and play a little bit of touch football or some soccer.
Oh, in your 50s, you're playing touch football.
You might be, or your kids.
Oh, my God.
But I'm saying there are those exceptions, but unlikely that you're going to put together a whole lacrosse team and get out there.
No.
So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can have a ball, some freestyle kind of fun, dodgeball-y kind of things, but not, But yes, I do know people who would do that, get out there in their 50s. I also know somebody who won't get rid of her roller skates, even though she knows it's a terrible idea for her to get on them.
Terrible idea. Terrible, terrible idea.
And by her, I mean me.
Yeah, I kind of gathered that.
Okay, just checking.
Anyway, rollerblades, roller skates, anything that you're not going to use anymore, you need to consignment, let it go, give it to a friend. Maybe they have kids and they would want it. There's always somebody that might want your items, so you don't feel bad about letting it go. There's somebody who needs them or will use them.
Quite the opposite. You can feel great about it.
Right. You can feel really great about giving items that you don't want to somebody who really wants them. And the last thing is collections, and I'm going to throw my own brother under the bus for this.
Great.
He's had a beer can collection since he was, I don't know, a teenager. And he is now 59. 60. No, 59. He's going to kill me if I add even an inch onto him. And I went to his house, went down in the basement, and there were all those beer cans in bins. And I said to him, as an organizer, as his sister, when's the last time you have even looked at your beer cans? He goes, never, ever. I go, then why don't you get rid of them? Maybe someone will buy some of them.
Worth anything.
Yeah. Find out if they're even worth anything. And that's the thing about collections. Everybody thinks their collection is worth a gazillion dollars. Oh, this is worth a lot of money. And then they go on eBay, they go online, they look it up. And I've done this myself, and it's worth like $6. So by the time I pay postage, everything, it's not even worth it. So do your homework. And if you have a collection that you absolutely love, display it, enjoy it every day, walk by and go, gosh, I love this, or let it go and find out what the value of it is and get rid of it.
That makes perfect sense. Can't argue with that. And some collections are indeed valuable and priceless, and you want to pass them down. And that's one thing. But if that were the case, though, why wouldn't you want to display them? Like, why are they shoved in a drawer? I have some little pieces of china that I thought were I'm sorry, probably not china. I don't know what they would be, but I thought they'd be really valuable. And I looked them up, and it's almost like you read my mind. $6.
Yeah.
$6.
Yeah. Because people can't wrap their head around something that they've been keeping so long, thinking it would be valuable. And then it's not.
And let me just say, that's a $6 value to a tiny little piece of a fraction of the population. Most people wouldn't spend a dime.
Right.
But there's someone out there that you'll probably never connect with that might give you $6.
Yeah.
So it is worth checking into. It certainly shouldn't take up a lot of space in your home if it's not going to benefit you and you're not going to get anything out of it, or nobody in your family will. So I like how you are saying these are suggestions, these are thought starters.
Yes.
They are not commandments to
No.
you. You are not dignified if you still are holding on to these things. But I also do think there's something to be said for telling your kids, you don't have to throw it away. Just take it.
Right.
Here's a box.
Right.
Sort through it and give the rest
Right.
to a nonprofit or a friend.
Right. And that's the thing. You're not saying I'm going to throw it away, but you need to come and get it because I don't have the room to store it anymore. And I really can tell you from my experience as a professional organizer, people in their 50s and older never regret giving their stuff back to their kids. They really do gain storage space that they desperately need.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever said, honey, do you remember that report you wrote in 5th grade? You know, the one about Brett Favre?
Right.
I came and saw you perform it in the class. Yeah, do you have a hard copy of that?
Right.
It came up today and I really want to reread it.
Right.
Not going to happen.
No.
So that brings us to the end of that particular segment. And we do have several events that we want to share with you coming up. But since this will timestamp this episode, if we do all of that now, we ask you to check our social media because it's very likely that there is something either virtually or in person that we've got coming up and we don't want you to miss it. We also ask that you would subscribe to this so you're always notified when a new episode drops. And if you could share with a friend, if there's a girlfriend that you have that you think needs people,
Yes.
we would love to have her and you a part of our Facebook community. We have a secret top star little elite page called Uncluttered and Unfiltered Ladies Only. It's just a private group on Facebook and people share things. Somebody asked the other day if anyone had tried mushroom coffee.
Oh, I know. I saw that.
And then I had a friend give me some like a day later and it was repulsive.
Yeah, we won't get into that only because I could go on forever, all the supplements I take. But I couldn't drink that. Let's just say that.
I mean, I guess it's an acquired taste. It certainly claims to have a lot of benefits, but that's a whole other thing.
Right.
All right. So anyway, thank you. Subscribe. 5 stars helps us to be searchable for other people. And until we speak again, remember, whether it is just an attitude, a relationship, an argument you're having, or all of the things on Christine's list of things you could let go out over 50, always you can let it go.
And don't look back.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.